I'm delighted to be joined by Stina Helvin, who is a trumpeter and is in her second year here at Queen Mary. It's very nice to be joined by you, Stina, because you're in Norway.
Yeah, that's correct. It's really nice.
And you're surrounded by snow.
Yes, it's starting to melt now, but yes, we have snow.
Well, British viewers will know when this is being recorded because we've actually got snow here in the UK, a little bit by comparison. We're down, I think, down to about -1. What are you in Norway at the moment?
Today it was -10, but it's around -20, like in general.
I know when we spoke the other day, it was -20, which is quite a sobering thought, isn't it? Quite cold. Now, I know you as a trumpeter because I'm actually teaching you the trumpet, which is a great pleasure. And I know you're very passionate about the trumpet music. But when did you start playing the trumpet, and when did your passion for music begin?
I started playing the trumpet when I was 9, but my interest for music started when I was a baby. I got a baby piano from my grandpa when I was just some months old. That was my favorite toy to play with, and I was allowed to play the living room organ we had when I was able to sit up. And my family is really, really into music. So I wanted to start play when I was 8, but my mom wouldn't allow me until the year after because I had too many hobbies at that time.
Too many hobbies. And also, people, of course, forget that with the trumpet and all wind instruments, your face has to develop. You have to have, a proper set of second teeth and all that. And people say, oh, you've got to have your face fully formed, because otherwise you have to completely relearn. Did you find the trumpet an easy instrument to take up?
In the beginning, yes, but then I got my braces and I had to start all over again.
That is always a curse, isn't it, for trumpeters? And people have no idea the pain and suffering that you go through when you have braces, do they?
It's really, really painful to play the trumpet over your braces.
So music was important to you. Did you get lots of opportunities in school or outside school to play music?
Yes, I did. We had really, really good music education in school. And I also played in a concert band. Well, that's where I started playing the trumpet, and also I got trumpet lessons at something called the culture school. It's like an art school at hobby level.
There's a very strong banding tradition, isn't there, in Norway?
Yes.
Where does that come from?
I'm not sure really. Every school in the area has its own band that's connected to the school. That the members at that school get the opportunity to start to play in the band. And in my city, it's actually a really, really big band city, so it's really, really popular to play.
Indeed. And do you play any jazz at all as well?
My band had a big band as well, so I played a little bit in that.
But that's quite a different art, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yes. And orchestral playing. I know you enjoy playing in orchestras.
Yeah.
Of course, the repertoire for the trumpet, as we know, is quite heroic, isn't it? And we were looking at great trumpeters. Are there any particular trumpeters that inspire you more than any others?
My 2 biggest idols is Ole Edvard Antonsen and Tina Helvin, 2 really, really famous Norwegian trumpet players that are well known around the world as well.
They most certainly are. And they've actually developed the instrument even further, haven't they?
Yes.
The instrument, as we both know, was known as the instrument of kings in the Baroque era, and died out in the classical period. But in the recent decades, has sort of become a real solo instrument, hasn't it, in its own right, with wonderful new pieces being written for it. And those 2 musicians you cite are real masters, world masters. Have you met either of them?
Yeah, I've met both of them. I was supposed to have trumpet lessons with Tina Helvin, but she got sick, and I have been able to play a concert with Ole Edvard Antonsen.
You are in excellent company there. Now, moving on, how important is music to you in your life generally? And also, how important has it been to you this particular year?
I have always been really, really interested in music and are listening to music all the time. And at a point, I had band practice up to 5-6 times a week. And I was teaching the trumpet, and I was a part of a lot of different talent programs. So music is like a big thing to me. And this year I'm like started to focus on getting back where I was before I got really, really sick 2 years ago, and lost a lot of my talent. Or like.
Well, now I know you've recently bought a flugelhorn, haven't you?
Yes.
Do you have your trumpet and flugelhorn with you?
Yes, I have them here. Let me see. Here I have them.
Now, I know that we often see just show us the flugelhorn so we can see it in its full glory, because you've got a particularly beautiful, what a beautiful instrument that is. Has that inspired you to play even more over the last few weeks and months?
Yes, it has. It's really, really hard for me to play right now because I need so much air. So it's a good practice. And I feel like when I play it, I get better on the trumpet as well.
What is the difference between a trumpet and a flugelhorn?
You probably know more about that than me, so like feel free to correct me if I say something wrong. But the flugelhorn has like a bigger opening where the sound gets out, and it's more like gradually to the opening. So it has a more softer sound and bigger sound than the trumpet, I would say. The trumpet is more like straightforward to a smaller opening. It's more sharp most of the time.
That's very well explained indeed. Now, we haven't discussed, what are you doing at Queen Mary? What is the degree subject you're studying?
I'm studying biology.
Biology. And how do you intend music to be part of your life in the future?
I want to continue music, but I don't know on which level. At least as a hobby, because like it's really, really relaxing and it's good for like stressing down in everyday life.
Have there been any particular memorable experiences in music that you would like to relate to us?
I have two really, really big moments for me. One is big, like in general, and one is like a personal big experience. The personal big one was when I was playing a concert in Bergen, and Ole Edvard Antonsen came behind me and tapped me on my shoulder and asked if he could join us, and ended up playing the rest of the concert with us. That was really, really big for me.
That is an extraordinarily wonderful experience. Of course, yes, to have your hero do that. How wonderful. Yes. And what about your other experience?
Yeah, that was 2 years ago when I was studying music at a music folk high school. And we went on tour and we ended up in Budapest. And we was playing a concert in the second largest cathedral in Europe. They had big posters of us outside, and so many people come just to hear us.
That is, of course, one of the benefits of being a musician, isn't it? Because you get asked to play in some of the most beautiful places. You get the opportunity to travel to extremely beautiful places. So whatever stress is involved is recompensed by those wonderful opportunities that stay with you in just that way. You're going to introduce three particular pieces, and I know you've had a bit of difficulty choosing these three pieces.
Yes.
But tell us about the first choice, which obviously relates to your own instrument.
Yeah. The first one is a piece called Vidda by Ole Edvard Antonsen. Yeah, he wrote this piece after he got his lifelong dream completed by flying over Hardangervidda in a small plane and see the beautiful nature and the reindeer running over. And this piece just reflects his feeling when he got his dream.
This is very popular in Norway.
Yes, you can't call yourself a trumpet player without having played this piece.
And then your second piece is by a very famous American composer and conductor.
Yes.
Tell us about this.
It's a piece called Slava by Leonard Bernstein. I don't know how to pronounce it correctly.
That's correct.
Yeah, it's a really, really cool piece. Like it has some beautiful trumpet and trombone duets parts. And it's really, really fun to play and listen to. I don't know that much about the backstory of it, but I really, really enjoyed the piece.
And your final choice has the most extraordinary title, which I think is going to entertain a lot of listeners. Godzilla Eats Las Vegas. But yes. It's a very fascinating piece. Tell us about it.
Yeah, it's a wind band piece that's like, it's supposed to tell a story that it's hard for you to not get pictures in your head and like see a movie when you hear the piece. It's about how Godzilla attacked like Las Vegas and like the famous people in the casino in the big dresses and stuff. and how Godzilla gets his way through the city, scaring people, children, and dogs, and how the army is marching out to defeat Godzilla, and the celebration when the Godzilla is dead and they are safe.
Well, Stina, it's always a pleasure talking to you, and it's a pleasure teaching you. And I only wish that my own trumpet playing skills could match either Tina Ting Helseth or Ulla Edvard Antonsen, both, of course, being masters of their art. Thank you so much for joining us and sharing your own thoughts and your choices of music.
Thank you.